Alrighty.
Alrighty. It's been a while since we recorded the last episode. Have you been watching anything other than Invincible these past 2 weeks?
Bro, Invincible ended a long time ago, bro. That's what
Okay,
what
okay.
what is
I don't know if we were just gonna get another
wh-
Invincible intro.
Anyways, no, I have not been watching anything crazy, but what I have been binging is Superstore. I know I said that last episode, but
Oh yeah.
I'm on the last 3 episodes of Superstore right now, and I've been waiting to start them so I can watch them with Kaylin. Because even though
Mm.
I started the show by myself, when she came over, I turned it on. She became invested. So we've been watching like this last season together. She's probably seen like over 15, 20 episodes already, just in spurts. So like we were watching season 2, and when she came back, it was like season 3 finale. She's like, "What? What is this?" And I was like, "Oh, this happened. This happened. This happened." So we're about to finish
Uh,
Superstore, which is pretty. Just right now, it's like a comfort show. It's whatever. Last season quality dropped so worse. You know the shows where the main character goes away, like it just never works, bro. Like The Office when Michael leaves. That's
oh, that's so true. You could
that's
just feel like it's like there's different writers almost.
yeah, or like even on have you seen that 70s show?
Yeah.
When the main Eric he leaves the last season. Like it just
Yeah.
doesn't work. So right now the main character left this season. It's just like it's not it, bro. And it's like this season is has to do with COVID and stuff. So like they're trying to be relatable, like 6 feet apart and wear your mask and all this.
Bro, when Brooklyn Nine did that, for some reason, it always feels like I don't want to see shit that I'm going through. I'm like, get this fucking like these jokes are lame. I don't find COVID jokes funny ever. I've never seen a COVID joke be funny on a TV
Isn't that
show.
kind of weird how that cultural event for us became like a TV thing? Like so many shows introduced
Yeah,
it like, let's mess around with COVID, like, just traumatizing event. Let's.
yeah, right. Let's try to uh, have art reflect real life, but I'm like, I don't know. It's just so weirdly like I don't want it because usually it's like that's what art is supposed to do. But
Yeah.
when they did that in Brooklyn Nine Nine or other movies and TV shows,
Uh
I'm just
huh.
like, get this shit out of here. I don't give a fuck about any of this.
Yeah. So besides Superstore, something I did go see in theater, what we talked about a little bit on the phone. I went to go see Revenge of the Sith in theaters this past weekend.
Ooh,
Bro, I am so glad I saw it in theaters. It was
you said
just
you got me a popcorn bucket, right?
no, I didn't get you a popcorn bucket. Did I tell you what I got you? Did I spoil that? Kaylin spoiled that.
Oh, did you actually give me something?
Oh fuck! You tricked me, bro. You tricked
Oh, fine.
me.
Look at that psychology.
You
Let's
tricked
go.
me. What?
That's crazy.
No, I hate you, bro. What the fuck? Oh,
I'm gonna just sarcastically saying that, but holy shit! If you actually got me something from that day, crazy. I
Okay.
might do another episode if you actually got me something.
Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers.
No spoilers. Okay,
Just
we can
forget
edit
that
that out. That
conversation.
never happened. Yeah, we'll edit that out.
Edit out of your mind, bro. Just edit it out of your mind.
Yeah, I got you.
So it's always cool, like around this time, like, because for the past like 3 to 4 years, I've always gone to the theaters to watch the re-releases for like May the
Uh
4th.
huh.
Oh, today's May the 4th, bro.
Yeah, we're actually recording on May
We're
the 4th.
okay. Anyways, okay. Um, so I've been going. So I saw Phantom Menace a few years ago. Then I saw Return of the Jedi, and then this year was Revenge of the Sith. And Revenge of the Sith is probably my favorite Star Wars movie, like hands down. So when they said it was releasing and they had the 20-year artwork, I was like, yo, that is so badass. I have to go. And we got prime seats. We were the first ones to buy the seats. We had dead center, perfect row, everything lined up perfectly. It's just so cool being in like that environment. I think that's what I love the most about liking, TV shows, comics, like superheroes, is like being a part of like a huge community. And I feel like Star Wars people are like die hard communities. You know what I mean?
Oh, for
Like
sure.
one of the die hardest. So when I was sitting, everyone's there, with they have their Jedi ropes on. People have their freaking lightsabers or and their Star Wars shirt. And me and Kaylin, we pull up with my Darth Vader shirt, and she has her other Phantom Menace shirt. Like we're decked out and we're watching it. It's just so cool. The music, like I know people talk about music a lot, but I never really paid attention to the Star Wars music until this one, just how loud it
That's
was.
crazy.
And then like everyone has their own music, and then like now you pay attention to, oh, Palpatine has his own music, and Anakin has his own music, Obi-Wan has his own music, even like everyone just has their own music. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like I like some of the background music that they'll play. Like it was just hitting way harder when it's like screaming in your ear the music versus like you watch it on your TV. Maybe it isn't as like you're just not as immersed. But I was immersed the whole second. Like I feel like I understood the movie even better because I probably seen that movie maybe like 5 times. But there's people that have seen that movie 20, 30 times. Like way bigger fans, so they probably understood everything. I feel like even for me rewatching this time, I picked up on new things, and it was like almost rewatching a new movie is kind of how it felt because I haven't seen that movie maybe in a few months. Like I usually watch all the Star Wars again in December, so it had been a
Uh
few
huh.
months, and it just felt like a fresh movie in a new environment. And then something I told you is when I got there, right, there was a Darth Vader popcorn bucket. And when I first got there, I was like, no, I'm not gonna get it. Like it's a waste. I'm never gonna use it. But then I was like, well, what if I watch Star Wars again? Like it'd be cool, like at my house to have a popcorn
Yeah,
bucket.
have a little theme popcorn
I was
bucket.
like, I'm not gonna get it, and I don't get it. And I go watch the movie, and then I leave, and then we're standing outside because Kaylin's going to the bathroom, and I just see everyone walking out of the theater with a Darth
You're like,
Vader popcorn bucket in their hands, and I'm like, damn, everybody
and then you
has
got
one.
FOMO, and then
I
you got FOMO.
I was like, bro, am I gonna get a chance again to get this popcorn bucket? I don't think so. I think I have to. I think I have to go get it. So I just get back in line
Yeah,
real
people were
quick.
selling that bucket for like $300 on eBay
No,
because it's like a collectible now or something.
the Darth
Yeah, I
Vader
swear.
head or the other one?
The other one, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah,
just a
yeah.
regular popcorn bucket.
Yeah, the popcorn bucket goes hard. But I got the Darth Vader head one, and something I told you was I get in line, and the guy behind the counter, he's like, "Oh, I like your shirt." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you, whatever." And then Caitlin's like, "Have you seen the movie already?" And he's like, "Yeah, I saw it Thursday night, like when it released, because they re-released it." And so we were kind of
Oh,
chopping it up, and then I was like, "Okay, let me buy the popcorn bucket." And then I just see like he's like, "Oh, we don't have any more," and I'm like, "Fuck!" So he literally
wow.
walks to the display and grabs one of the helmets on the display and gives it to me, and I was like, "Yes, bro, let's go!"
That
And
guy is the goat.
I told Kayla, I was like, "Dude, this was destined to be because I wasn't gonna get it, and then I get the last one." So
Yeah. Bro, sometimes movie theater employees are either the most anal, strict, like they've never broken a rule in their life, or they're the chillest people there are. Like,
yeah.
I feel like there's no in between.
Bro, you know what it's like with the AMC StubHub when they ask for your ID, bro. Like,
Bro, yes, that's what I'm thinking about. I had
oh my
some lady
god.
who was like, "No, I see you bought the ticket, but no." And then all of us were like waiting, and I was the only one who didn't have my ID. And she's like, "Those are the rules. I just cannot let you in." And then Andrew had to pay for another ticket
Yeah.
right then and there, and then all of us are just like, "Really? Like really? That's not a good look on your company. Like it's horrible."
like
But
like I
I guess rules are
understand the
rules.
rules, right? I understand it, and
Yeah.
in every time I have to show my ID, I'm like, oh, this is bull, because bro, I bought the freaking ticket, like it's me,
Yeah.
and like I get, you could, people maybe use that to get free tickets for other people, but
Maybe one. If I were to guess, maybe one out of 1,000. And really, like at the end of the day, whoever's using it paid for the membership.
all right,
Like you're not losing. It's not coming out of your paycheck, buddy. Like, ease up.
literally, bro, let me through, bro. I'm trying to watch this
Yeah.
movie, like, come on.
Let me in.
But yeah, that's what I've been watching. Superstore. I watched Return of the Revenge of the Sith.
In
Pretty good
theaters.
week for watching stuff. But what about you, bro? What have you been watching? Anything new on the Dolby screen?
Um, I was talking shit about you watching Invincible or just not watching anything new, but for me, I was being hypocritical because I've just been rewatching like the DC animated stuff that I grew up with. So there were a couple movies where I was like, I think I'm gonna recommend this for the next episode, but I just couldn't wait. So I just rewatched it, and I rewatched like The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2. There's actually this more modern DC animated universe they did, and they had this Superman one called Superman Man of Tomorrow, and it's not bad because they one of the main villains was Lobo. I don't know if you know who Lobo is. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, isn't Jason Momoa playing him in the new?
Yes, he is. He's playing him in the new Supergirl. He's one of my favorite Superman villains. So I thought it was cool because um, I got to show Valerie Lobo because there's a lot of villains she's never seen before, and she's a new, like, pretty much diehard Superman fan. So I'm like, oh,
Nice.
you've never heard of Metallo? Like, she's never heard of Metallo, Amazo, Lobo, Brainiac. She's never heard of any of those
Yeah.
villains, and I forget about them. So seeing a new take in that animated movie was really cool because it's kind of, again, like pre-gaming for the new content we're going to be getting. But
Dude.
besides that, yeah, besides that, I haven't really been watching any any new stuff really. Besides White Lotus season 2, I'm about to start season 3. That show is really good. I love it, but not not a whole lot going on.
So I want to just have a quick 5 minute max debate with you, real quick, on a very controversial
Gorilla is
topic.
fucking up everyone.
No, bro. For the people listening, there's been this crazy debate online where it's can 100 men beat one gorilla? And Anthony has the most absurd take possible on this freaking what is it? I don't even know what this is. This conundrum of a situation
Yeah.
that I don't even I'm wondering if he's trolling with me on the fact that he actually thinks one gorilla is beating 100 men. Like the fact that he even thinks that's true blows my mind. And so I
No, it's because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Every single person who argues for humans, right? They have to have extremely specific scenarios. So one, you have to
what?
have every human. Yeah, but so you're accounting for one, none of the humans stop fighting after they see the first 10 get ripped to shreds and get their skulls crushed and everything. You're accounting that every single human is like, okay, no, they're bloodlusted and they're not giving up even after they see the first 10 to 20 guys ripped apart
Oh my
completely. And then
goodness.
and then you have to pretend that you have to give the gorilla a disadvantage as in he doesn't know he's in a fight. But if this gorilla is bloodlusted and also like not giving up and just going after all 100 people, like how many people do you think he's going to get through before the humans start like turning away and are like, okay, fuck this. I'm not getting ripped to shreds just so these other 20 guys can beat this gorilla. I'm running. Like, I feel like every single time people argue for humans, they gotta like, well, if we all have to be locked in. We gotta be locked in and then we'll do it.
Exactly. That
That's not happening. No humans are logging in like
bro,
that.
listen, bro. If if you have 100 men who know they're gonna die, regardless, if
No, I don't
even if
think
they
so.
stop fighting and they're like, oh, I'm not gonna fight the whole time, they're still gonna eventually get got. So might as well start fighting first, because you're not just gonna wait. And then the gorilla, bro, cannot take on 100 men. Like 100 men is just too much to handle. Like you have men go for the legs, go for the arms. I know you have the stat of, oh, gorillas have max pressure of 5,000 punch power, but it's not like bro, it's not like he's a freaking Superman fidget spinner that's gonna spin and knock everyone over like bowling pins. Like he's gonna have to attack one guy and then go for him. But it's not like he's gonna go, boom, oh, I got that guy next. Boom, got this guy next. Like he doesn't think like that.
So he doesn't know he's in a fight. He doesn't know he's in a
What do
fight.
you mean?
You have to fight a gorilla. You have to sneak attack a gorilla, is
You
what you're saying. Because if he
no.
knows, like,
What?
okay, I have to kill 100 of these men, he can kill one guy a second.
No, he can't. No,
Literally
he can't.
bite their face off. If he bites their face off, they're out.
No.
He could just grab and bite. He can grab any human at will, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, you can't,
But
like, undo his grip like Jackie Chan style.
no.
Like, drop the
But bro,
sweater and undo
but
the
now,
grip. He is biting your face off in
but
a
now
second.
you're saying he has to know he's in a fight. Like gorillas, you can't be like, hey, gorilla, You're in this fight right now against 100 men. You need to.
So an unsuspecting gorilla who has no idea what's going on or that he's being
You
hunted.
mean just a regular gorilla? Like he's just
Yes. But that's not fair because you're not
what?
arguing for regular
What?
humans. You're not arguing for regular humans. You're like, yeah, these humans are locked in and they're ready to
No,
fight with no arms or
but that's
legs
where
and
it's
just bite the
that's where it's
gorilla.
different because humans are smart. They're able to assess a situation and be like, "Oh, we gotta lock in, or we're gonna die." Versus a gorilla, he's an animal. He just thinks like an animal. You're not giving him more or less of his natural state. It's just what he
Okay, but
is.
that's also you're giving more or less to the human's natural state because how many out of 100, if they have a fight or flight, even people in war go to flight. How many of those 100 humans are going straight to fight? Not not half of them.
You have to though, because you know you're
Soon as
gonna
they
die.
as soon as they see the faces ripped off, they're gonna be flight and trying whatever they can to escape this scenario. Is this like a cage match? Like you can't escape?
Probably something where it's like a confined space.
Okay, if it's a cage match, I guarantee you some humans would rather try and rip open bars than try and get their face ripped off by a gorilla.
Nah, bro, you're in bulletproof
Yeah,
glass
yeah, yeah.
scenario. And I just don't
Okay.
get how you think a gorilla will lock in like that because men, as soon as you poke the gorilla's eyes, he's done for. I'm shoving my whole hand down the gorilla's eye and I'm blinding him. And then someone else just got to get the other eye while other people are just freaking ramming his foot. Like, you don't think a guy can tackle his foot and knock him on balance a little bit? Like, bro, 100
A
men.
400 pound gorilla.
Yeah, and 2 men equal 400 pounds. That's all you need.
Okay, but that's also he has resistance. He's not just standing straight up. He has that center of mass towards the bottom. He has a low center of gravity, bro. You can't just knock that over.
Bro, haven't you seen football players how they just line up and they're tackling and then they
Oh,
knock it?
so see, so this scenario has football players now.
No, I'm just
I
saying the
didn't know. I
stance.
didn't
The
know.
stance of a football player, they line up and they multiple men at once go after one guy. So, same scenario. You have 3 guys line up. Boom, go this way. Another 3 guy. Boom, that way. The sheer mass of 100 men is just too much for the gorilla to handle.
Okay, so these 100 men have game planned and
Yes.
strategized before the fight.
No, you're in the fight. Hey, let's do this. Come on.
Yeah, no. That you have 20 guys screaming, trying to let me out, and then you
No.
have another 20 guys like maybe we should. And then while they're planning, the gorilla rips their arms off and starts beating their friends with that arm, and then he starts curb stomping
my
the other
goodness.
5 men. Like
Bro.
he could literally mutilate you.
What's to say that the gorilla doesn't get scared and like, oh, I'm getting beat. 100 men's too much. It's intimidating. Like, no, you think gorilla's just like, nah, I'm him and I'm gonna take 100 men. Like, if we're using that
But
logic,
that's what I'm saying. You got to use we have to come up with the same mindset. If the humans have the mindset of we have to win and we're gonna kill, then you got to give that to the gorilla because then you're giving all the disadvantages to the gorilla.
okay, you give that advantage to the gorilla that he knows he has to kill 100
then you're
men.
then you're done. Then you're
Bro,
done.
that's
Then you're done.
crazy.
You're absolutely.
You swear
done.
he's gonna pull a Madara in the freaking Great Shinobi War, and he's just gonna one tap everyone and then go to the next guy just as fast. Like, he's not one tapping everybody.
It's just one human. Even if you have 2 humans, look, get 5 humans to pull on a gorilla's arm, right? You're not ripping it off, or you're not even dislocating it. You're not breaking it. He can legit get the weight of 5 to 10 humans and throw all of you.
No.
But and so if he grabs one of you with just the strength of his arms, he could actually rip off your arm, clean off your body. Like he could actually do that. But it's like even if you got 10 men, you can't even rip off his arm or pull it out of its socket. Like you guys can't do that. So it's like I don't know what damage you're doing to a gorilla unless I just don't know. Like what type of damage your punches, you're not gonna knock him out. Like
Okay, guys, whoever's listening, under our most
yeah, comment who you
recent
think.
post of A Raisin in the Sun when this comes out, make sure to comment whether you think 100 men.
Comment why Julian is wrong and why a gorilla would
No,
mutilate
we need
100
to
humans.
give Anthony to the gorillas because he has no faith in humanity that we will come up top. So comment down under our
I'm
Instagram
Team
post,
Gorilla.
100 men or one gorilla. I'm actually curious because, bro, the amount of people that I've heard say gorilla, I'm like, bro, you're crazy, bro. You're
Bro, I
crazy.
feel like y'all got. I feel like y'all got to go watch the Discovery Channel or something. Like
Okay,
y'all's
I'm
education on gorillas is just very
I'm
low.
not saying one gorilla isn't strong than maybe 1 to 10 men, but 100 is kind of a lot. So, anyways, I digress. We went longer than 5 minutes. We have a movie to review. What movie are we talking about today?
Let's do this. We're talking about A Raisin in the Sun, and I'm gonna pronounce his name wrong. So if I do, my bad. Cause
My bad.
um, yeah, my bad. I didn't do that much research. So A Raisin in the Sun is um it was actually a play originally written by Lorraine Hansberry. And it tells a story of the Youngers, a working class black family in Chicago, as they grapple with financial challenges as their individual dreams after the death of the patriarch. The family awaits a life insurance check, and the plot revolves around how they choose to use the money. Lena, the matriarch, wants to buy a house in a white neighborhood, while her son, Walter, wants to invest it in a liquor store. Walter's sister, Benita, dreams of medical school, and each family member's aspirations clash, highlighting themes of race, gender, and the American dream. And so this movie, let me pull up the cast real quick because there's some very famous actors in this. Has Sidney Poitier, Claudia McNeil, Ruby Dee, Diana Sands, Louis Gossett Jr., and John Fiedler. I specifically like John Fiedler a lot. He was that guy who's trying to sell them the house or tell he was like the chairman of the committee. He's like, well, you guys don't need to go over there. You know
Like,
that yeah, the little mouse voice he has. He was also in 12 Angry Men, which is also one of my favorite movies. So just seeing him, I'm like, oh, that guy. Cool seeing him and other stuff. But getting into it immediately, yeah,
okay,
because
that's
his
funny.
voice and everything, he plays the same exact. He has the same demeanor in that movie, 12 Angry Men, and yeah, easily recognizable. So, for you, you don't watch very many black and white 60s films. I don't watch a
Right,
lot
right.
either. I've just seen a couple. I'm not like constantly watching old films.
Yeah.
But going into this, tell me your thoughts.
Right. So, yeah, definitely. I not even joking you. This might be my first black and white movie that I've seen.
Like originally black
Yeah,
and white
like
movie.
not even joking.
Oh
I
wow.
think this might be the first black and white movie that I've ever seen. So immediately, you know what I thought of, bro? Um, like the colors. Like, do you think the producers and everyone care about the colors that they're wearing? Because what I imagine is just like a set that's like rainbow colors, and they're like, well, none of this color is gonna show, so we don't need the
Yeah.
two couches to match, or the background to be painted a certain color. I'm like, I wonder how that worked with like set design because you're not gonna see the color. So do they really need to worry about if the colors flow together or whatever? That's
Yeah,
something I
yeah.
was wondering.
That actually surprises me sometimes because I've seen where they looked at like reference photos and they were able to recolor some black and white stuff. And sometimes things come out gray, but it turns out that the whole time it was like a navy blue. And I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck? I thought it was probably just like a I don't know, a darker color, but you don't sometimes it's very surprising like the colors that are hidden
Yeah.
in the black and white because it'll just turn some bright colors gray. Like somebody could be wearing a bright yellow shirt and you would think it's just a light gray or whatever.
Yeah, just watching black and white it did take me like a second to,
Yep.
get used
Yep.
to it and like try to immerse myself into what was
Yeah.
going on. Cause yeah, like it starts off like them getting ready for work and come on, hurry up, hurry up, hurry
Uh-huh.
up. Um,
And the
which
dad like being barely awake
yeah,
and like
just getting dressed. Or,
looking around. Yeah.
so this something I was gonna just say that this movie in general though feels like I don't know how to put it into words. It's like you'd you'd have to like want to like this type of film, I feel, to like the message or whatever, because it's it's a lot of talking. They're like in the same three or two like sets, and it's like
Yeah.
that's very different than like most movies where they're traveling doing this and you have so many different scenes, so many different characters. Like in this movie you only have like the main four characters the whole time. Like it's just like a very different film. So when I was watching it, I was like, yeah, what they're talking about, it feels good. I think their acting is really good, but I'm like, I don't. There's nothing more to that I was like, I don't know. I guess I do just have to appreciate the message and what they're going through. It's like you're more invested in that little aspect than some other things that when you watch a movie and it's like you have this going on and it's a big stake thing and then it's like a big scene,
Yeah.
and this one it's like it is a big thing but it's still in that one little scene of like their living room, and the whole climax is in their living room. Like
Yeah.
everything takes place there, which is like different. And like you said, it was a play, and that's what it did feel like a big play where it was like the whole first scene, bro. I swear, like, what's it called when they make no cuts? Is it no cut scene or
Oh, like a one
like a
take.
one take? Yeah, I was like, bro, this is just one take the whole time. Like they're just
Yeah,
start to
they all have
finish.
to just professionally know their timing, their lines, no messing up. There's no like, oh, let's cut here, close up here. It was
Right.
very. Uh, I've read some interviews where some actors like Samuel L. Jackson have actually complained about that from modern movies because uh, they'll say like, or even what's his name, Denzel Washington will say, this is a filmmaker's medium, not an actor's medium, and he said that because he said he can be giving uh, the greatest monologue of his life, and the director will be doing a close up of his foot because that's where like the story is. And so it's not necessarily an actor's medium, but that is something that was different from back then, because I think movies back then thrived or had the culture of being more like bringing a play to people's living rooms. And so the like just like 12 Angry Men has like 90% 99% of that movie is set in the room where they're all debating, and then there's maybe one or two other shots where it's outside of that room. And I think some actors thrive in that environment because it lets them know, like, oh, my entire performance is being captured right now in this camera, like where I sit, where I stand,
Yeah.
how I lean against this wall, my relationship to the actor I'm acting with. And uh, Samuel L. Jackson said the same thing. He's like, just let me act. You're trying to, okay, say these lines. Now you want to do a close up of my face right here, and then you want to change angles and then change lenses. He's like, just let me fucking act, like let me tell the story. And there is a balance you got to find, because I don't necessarily agree or disagree with that, because it's like the director should be able to tell a visual story, uh, and craft that himself. But at the same time, you do a disservice to some of the actings if you do too much. Like if you're not letting the, because I think that's what Tarantino does great. Like sometimes in The Hateful Eight, he'll just let the camera sit there and he'll take a page out of the old movies and like just say, hey, we're gonna be in this one room for the whole movie, and we're gonna let the actors, really flesh out the story with how they bounce off of one another. And so sometimes when you go old, it's too much. Sometimes when you go new, it's too much of the opposite. And there's a good balance that you got to find.
Yeah, because like in certain movies, like how you said, like what they're doing or maybe the setting or all these things could move the plot forward. Versus in this movie, it's like literally everything these characters say or do, whatever, is what's moving the plot forward, which is like such
Yeah.
a different, like for me, it was like, okay, I literally have to pay attention to everything these guys are saying because what they say is what's building up the overall story.
Yeah, like what they say matters, and it gives context. And and everything.
Yeah, because like Walter's character, like from the start, he's just talking about he's a struggling worker and he hates working and he doesn't want this life for his kid and that's like his main thing that drives him throughout the whole movie. And he's like, I want this check.
Yeah.
I gotta do this with this check. Like, come on, mama. And then he's telling his wife about his dream, and his wife's like, you're crazy. And it's like, you from listening to every single speech in what they're talking about, it helps you understand. Like, okay, his wife's kind of like, Walter, you're crazy, and Walter's like, no, I need this, and then everyone is just thinks Walter's crazy, um, which is just like, yeah, you literally have to pay attention to all these things, which to me, I feel
Yeah.
like I'm not that used to like paying attention to every single word of dialogue in a movie because it's like, you have
Hmm.
other things that can kind of give you that information when you're watching a movie. Like if it's scene or what they're actually doing, it's not necessarily 100% the dialogue. So for me, that was kind of a new thing. Like this definitely felt like a new type of movie that I've watched. Like I don't think I've seen a movie like
Yeah.
this where it's like straight talking, and that's kind of all it is. It's like for the most part, this movie is just straight talking, like people talking. That's kind of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's hard, especially when you're so used to uh, movies nowadays, because they kind of. I think some directors get lazy with it. And so I view it personally as more of a challenging thing. It's like, how are you going to tell a story and have characters that have convictions and have a beginning and end with just words? Like, I think a lot of people get very um lazy nowadays. Not everyone, but some people get lazy because they're like, oh, we don't have to have them talk or focus on the actors. You can
Yeah,
hide it with
exactly.
this. You can show some action, entertain them with this scene, or just
Yeah.
swap the actors out for this action scene. But when I first saw this movie, my dad was surfing the Criterion channel and he put it on, and I literally thought like, bro, I'm not trying to watch a black and white movie right now. I'm not trying to do that. But then when I just heard their conversations, one thing I specifically liked about this movie is I thought their conversations were very timeless. Like when the daughter starts talking about religion and her own dreams, I'm like, she's so progressive. Even women to this day are still saying the same things that she's saying. Not all women, but
Yeah.
some women are still saying, like, I'm not going to be what you want me to be. I have my own aspirations. I don't need a
Yeah.
man. I want to be a doctor. And I'm
Mhm.
like, that's still going on today. Like people have the same dreams, or where when they're poor, they're saying like, man, I know this guy, all he did was he just sold this and he took the risk and he became rich. Like we need to take the risk. And they're like comparing their own situations to others and saying like, we just need to do this and we can capitalize on it. And you and I have had those exact conversations where we're like, bro, all we need to do is this and
Yeah.
then we can make it. Like we have
Yeah.
the same type
Exactly.
of dreams. Like we may not be as depressed because we're not
Yeah.
living with like five people in a one bedroom apartment and we're not extremely
Mhm.
poor, but those same aspirations and like progressive ideals I think still exist today. So when my dad put it on and I started hearing them talking, I just found myself immersed in their conversations. And even when she started talking about religion, she said like, that's just one idea, and it's just, some people can believe in it, some people don't have to. And I'm like, I've said the same thing. I'm like, here in
Yeah.
2020 or 21, whenever I saw this movie, I'm like, I'm saying the same exact
Yeah.
thing. It's so crazy. And that's just one, or like the reason I admire this movie, because I felt like the problems were kind of timeless
Yeah.
in a sense.
That's exactly like a part I was thinking of too. Like, bro, people have been struggling forever, bro. People have been
Yeah.
dealing with BS forever. Like, and it's just kind of funny, like us who are kind of entering adulthood or whatever, and we run into these problems. We're like, oh damn, this problem sucks, or whatever. And it's like, dude,
Yeah.
that problem's been around for a minute. And there was this
Yeah.
this quote I heard the other day, and it was like, it's the same problem, just different names. And it's like, you
Yep.
hear stock market crashed in 2008. And it's like, oh, well, they had that same title in 19 whatever. Stock market crashed. It's
Yep.
like now it's due to this. It's like it's the same problems, just different titles, which I think
Yeah.
this movie does show
History
good.
constantly repeating itself.
Yeah, and like even some of the little things where it's like, you can kind of relate to, right? Like, both of us come from big families, so it's like, everyone trying to share one bathroom, like little things like that where it's like, everyone's trying to get to the restroom and everyone's dealing with, all right, we gotta get breakfast before we go to school or whatever. Like little things where it's like, dude, it's so funny. Like those are things that will always kind of be around, like those
Yeah,
little problems, even as little as they come, like that, like sharing a bathroom, are still like, it's just funny seeing like that was a problem 50 years ago, 60 years ago, and it's like not
it's the
refreshing, but it's
same
like, oh,
thing.
that's funny. Like I relate to these little problems that
Yeah,
these characters go through. Um, but something I was gonna ask, like, so this was done on film, obviously, right? Like, uh,
yeah.
how do they do? I don't know if you would know. How do they do like fading scenes? Like, you know how they have the scenes where it's like they'll be somewhere and then it like fades to say Walter at the
Oh
bar.
yeah,
Like, how
yeah.
do they do that? I was so like, damn, like they have a fade machine or what do they do? They just
I'm guessing it's like something physical because it's always there's no computer, so they probably had to do something physical where the reel that is like sending in the film, they probably overlap it, and then since the projection is like shining through both, you can see both for a second, but then the other one is slowly going away, so the fade goes away. Or maybe you just pull it back or something. I'm not exactly sure. That's a good question though,
because
but it had to be something physical.
Because what they do, right? I'm guessing, do they get the original film and then cut it up how they want it, and then like realign it, and then run it through a machine that gets that film that they've edited and puts it onto like a fresh reel that's like the edited version? Is that how they kind of like edit film?
Yeah, yeah, actually. So they
Okay.
they like physically like splice it together, you know?
Uh
Like
huh.
we see it on the computer as it like tracks, but they will like physically cut it with like a razor blade and then tape it together. And then I think that's called like the master cut or like the very first one, and then they have to make a copy, and since they have to make multiple copies because every time you copy it, it kind of like wears it down. So they have to make a negative or something like that that they are able to copy from constantly, so that that one negative or the copied one is the one that's getting all the wear and tear, and then they preserve the master one and they just don't touch it.
So then my next question was, how do you think they sync the audio to these films? Like, do they just is someone playing the master and then someone makes a sound? Like, how do they time those sounds with the film when they send it to like a movie theater or something? Like, because obviously
I
nowadays
think,
it's like together as one, in one track. Back in the day, like, how do they
yeah.
combine these audio tracks with these movies?
I think they use the marks just like we do nowadays, but we kind of saw it in that movie that we never watched and we never recorded a podcast for, Blowout.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, I think we saw it briefly. Remember how he was like lining up the film to the car crash sound, and then he got it like perfectly. We
Yeah.
kind of got a little sneak peek into that process. How he was like listening to it, marking it, backing it up, mark it, line it up. Sounds good. Cut it right there.
So you think they just have like a separate audio tape and then a separate film tape, and then when they go to play the actual movie, they just put both of them in and they just line up like, scene for
I
scene?
think I think there's some where you can where it holds the audio like some film reels. I think I could be wrong. There's probably some nerd pulling his hair out right now, but there's probably on one thing. Like they don't have to send out both reels,
Okay.
you know. But yeah, I think in the beginning they have to like mark it. Oh, this is where the mark sound is uh on my audio tape, and then you line them up together. Then you can copy that and put it onto a film and audio tape.
Okay, because like I feel like we've always talked about how much effort goes into these films that were brought to us like back in the day, like because this movie came out when like 1950, 62?
This one was 61.
61. Okay, so like, bro, back in the day, these people were grinding to get this film out, like all the
Yeah,
little effort
yeah.
that goes into, and like you can't go back and like color correct or edit if the lighting's wrong. Like you can't do that in
Yeah.
post. Like it's either you have to reshoot it or you're stuck with a maybe oversaturated or undersaturated scene, which is like, bro, like you really had to know what you were doing because if you messed up, say how zoomed in you were or how out zoomed in or whatever, like you're kind of done. Like it's over. Like you can't fix that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly. You have to be way more meticulous and actually care about everything. Like the whole process, you got to have definitely a little bit more passion than nowadays
and
because you can just easily mess up and fix it.
And if you kind of think about it, it's probably the filmmaker's reason or fault, even if you want to use that word, that we have some of like the most advanced cameras and stuff that we have now. Because for the most part, it's like who's really caring about how high definition a camera is, right? It's probably these filmmakers that are like pushing that border. Hey, we need better cameras. We need this to do this. And then, the first guy to create like sound and picture into one recording device was probably
Yeah.
like the most groundbreaking thing. And all the film people were like, yes, like that's crazy. And then it becomes such a
Yeah, it's
common
incredible.
thing that like everyone has it now. So
Well, even till nowadays though, I think for movies it always stayed separate, like the sound and the
oh
video.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, but what you're saying is still true. Like imagine putting them both in the same thing. Like iPhones nowadays can do 4K video
Yeah.
and audio at the same time.
Or like yeah, the editing software that probably goes into that. Like you said, yeah, separate. They obviously record separately, but now there's this software where I can just click buttons to edit instead of having to
Yeah, put
splice. Like
everything together.
imagine the first movie that was able to maybe put their film reel through something and it became digital. Like they must have been like head over heels. Like let's go, I can edit this
Yeah,
movie
like oh
in
my god,
in a
I don't want to
month.
ever touch a razor blade
Yeah,
again.
dude. Like
Having to cut it.
I wish I could see those guys' like reaction when they figured it out that they're not gonna have to cut every single slice out. They could just edit. I bet they went crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I
Um,
bet it was monumental.
but
I bet you there's also some people who are like, "What the fuck? Like, nah, this
this is
isn't as
not the
good as
way to
the."
go. No.
Yeah, no, I don't like the direction this is
Yeah.
taking.
Um, Going back to the movie though, I want to talk about some of the characters, right? So
Yeah,
so I'm guessing Walter is the guy that won the Grammy or the first something.
yeah. He was the first ever black man to win an Oscar.
Okay. And I honestly don't think he deserves that Oscar because I actually hated his character in this movie, bro. Because
Okay, I hope you know his Oscar was not for this movie.
oh, okay,
Because
good.
so that's just a crazy statement. That's such a crazy statement.
Okay, good. I'm glad he didn't win it for this movie because
Okay, do you hate his character or his acting? Because his
no,
acting
his
was
acting was good.
incredible.
His acting was good, but his
Yeah,
character in this movie was not good. I actually
he
hated,
was insufferable at some points.
bro.
Yeah,
I was just like his character is like like it made no sense to me because they start him off. He's like hardworking. He has big dreams for his family, right? It's for his family.
yeah,
Okay, yeah. So he said he had all
yeah.
these dreams for his family, and I was for that. I'm like, yes, I can respect a man grinding for his family. But then he becomes a little bitch boy when his mom's like, no, I'm not giving you the money. Like, and then he's like, all right, fuck my family. I hate you
He
guys. And then he
becomes
becomes an alcoholic
bitter.
drinker, not working,
Yeah,
putting his family at even more risk of being homeless. And I'm like, bro, I hate you. And then he gets his money and he's like, yeah, I love my family again. I love them. I love them. And I'm like, bro, like, and his mom for enabling that behavior, bro. Like, she saw him sulking and being a deadbeat dad. And then it was like, you know what? You do deserve this money, son. And I'm like, bro, he does not deserve this money. Like, what are you doing? I was just so like, oh, his character was so like annoying in this
and then he
movie.
still gambled it away and lost
Oh
all
my!
of
I
it.
knew that was happening, bro. I knew he was gonna get scammed. I was like, if it's too good to be
Yep.
true, it's too good to be true. And he got scammed. I was like, I knew it. I knew he was gonna get scammed. So him in that movie, uh, definitely an annoying character. I think my favorite character is probably the son. Like they have like
Oh, because he's just there.
yeah, but they have like that cute accent, bro. Like the '60s, like Little Rascals accent type vibe. Like
Yeah,
I don't know,
yeah.
I can't do it, but it's like yeah, my grandma. I don't even. That was horrible. But like they have such a funny and cute accent that every time he was talking, I was just like locked in on that accent and how he was talking because
Yeah.
they sound so funny.
Did you have to, or did you end up putting subtitles like I said? Because sometimes they'd be like, I don't care about another man again. And I'm like, what did you say?
Yeah, I did have the subtitle. I feel like maybe I don't
Okay,
know if there's
good.
parts where I was like, what did he say? But maybe because the subtitles were just there. But yeah, they did have like what southern accents, some accent, something.
Yeah, like really southern, or not southern, because they're living in Chicago, but it's just that old timey. Like I remember specifically when the wife, he says, uh, he's telling her like, man, the modern black woman, you try to tell them your dreams, and they say eat these eggs, and she says like, what? She says something along the lines of, well, I am a colored woman, aren't I, or something like that.
Uh-huh.
But the way she said it, like it sounded like, "What I can't help but even
You're
wake
like,
up in the morning." I'm like,
what?
"What?" Yeah. After I heard her say that, I'm like, I gotta tell him because he's gonna skip over these lines, and I didn't even understand it. Not because they're saying it wrong. It's just because we are far removed
Yeah.
from this culture. We are very far removed, so it's hard to to I guess open up your mind to a different culture that you don't exactly understand.
So W wife or L wife for not supporting his liquor store dreams?
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, for me, I personally understand. I felt like I sympathize with both because
Right.
sometimes you're just like, bro, I'm just trying to make it through the day.
Yeah.
Like, you keep complaining. Like, the first thing you do when you wake up is start complaining. Like, go take a shower, go to work. I'm like, just eat your eggs, bro. Eat your eggs. But at the same time, I'm like, this dude doesn't want this for his family anymore. Like, it's not just because he wants to be rich, but
Right.
he's tired of the fact that his son sleeps on the couch. Like, that kind of destroys his pride as a man. He's like,
Yep.
how am I supposed to feel good as a man if my son doesn't even have his own bed? He has to sleep in the living room. I'm just like, damn, that is like that hurts your pride as a man, and especially when you're a husband and you have to like raise a family, you do have that pride of like, you know, the circumstances around your family is almost a reflection of you, like, and so if it's a
It's true.
horrible situation, it kind of makes you feel like a horrible person. So how can you just feel good waking up when you know your family's going through this and you're the provider?
So yeah, I mean, I guess you could see both
So how do you
sides.
feel?
I,
Are you with her?
I,
Should he eat his eggs and go to work?
no, bro. Because as a woman, you need to support your man, bro, through thick and thin.
Yeah,
At least
you gotta lift him
at
up.
least be like, yeah, you could do it. Like, not completely shut
Yeah,
him
gamble
out.
all our money away.
Yeah, like maybe not all of it, but I would have been like, hey, like, can we do something else? Maybe not with all the money. Like,
Yeah,
that's how I would have. But
yeah,
she completely was like, you're stupid. Like, eat your eggs. Like she did not want to
I
entertain
agree.
that at all. Which I was like, God, like, maybe if he had that support, he wouldn't feel so lonely. And
Yeah,
it,
just be a little more
cause
supportive.
like, bro, like I know it's not that dire, but we have these little dreams here, with our podcast where we have to sometimes make sacrifices to, hey,
Mm,
I need to step away
yep,
to record, or I need to watch this movie
yep.
tonight.
My wife's watching the kids
And,
right
and
now.
I know, right? And then
So
it's like you see someone like your wife, she's like, yeah, go do that, or like, you find the time to work together to make that happen. It's like that's what you need
yeah,
to one be motivated to keep doing it because you have like someone supporting you, but then two also to have that mindset of like, hey, like I'm actually doing it. I'm sticking to it with my own time and effort, and it's not a burden on
hmm,
anybody because we're working on it together. And it's
yeah,
like I feel like that
yeah,
combination probably could have helped Walter out if his wife was a little more supportive, maybe not just 100% shutting him down. So I was like, come on, girl.
yeah,
Let
yeah,
him talk, bro. He can eat his eggs later. Come on.
yeah,
So
yeah. So
and
true.
something also that I think I did, because yeah, besides some of the other parts of the movies, something I also really liked was just like, bro, like we are so blessed to live in the time we live right now. Like, bro,
Hmm.
we're not, dead broke, struggling. Like, we're not. absolutely just despaired. And it's like the struggles that we might have on a day-to-day basis just probably don't even compare to some of the struggles like these people had to deal with like in the 60s or
Yeah.
50s of struggling and being put in these tough situations where it was like, damn, like they are really struggling, like really, really.
Yeah.
And it just kind of
Yeah.
makes you reassess your struggles a little bit. At least for me personally, I was like, yeah, like I really don't have it bad. Like I need to just stop complaining about my day to
Yeah.
day, saying, "Oh, I need a new car, this," or "I need a better
I have
this."
2 bathrooms in my home. I have 2 bathrooms in my home.
Dude, look at you, bro. I got freaking four, bro. Like we're out
Yeah.
here just
I don't
living
gotta
great.
share it with the next door neighbor. Oh,
Yeah.
dang, you got 4, bro? This privileged guy over
Oh my
here.
goodness. Um, so it's just like, reassessing your situation sometimes I think kind of helps. Like we might think we have it bad, but it's yeah, you don't really always want to compare yourself to other people, but it's like as bad as you could have it, at least you have a car, at least you have a job, at least you have food, and you have your family. I feel like you're good, right? And then some people might not even have those simple things, might not even have a car, a job, might not have friends, little things where it's like, bro, like there's really only so much you really need in the world. And I feel like that movie kind of helped me realize that because at the end of the day, like they got their house, their family, like they were
Yeah,
kind of
like that
good.
was like their dreams coming true, just getting a home
Yeah.
in and of itself.
So I really like that like little message that it
Yeah,
kind of gave at the end. Um,
yeah.
but I
Would you like to hear? Oh, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
what? No, I was gonna go into my gripe session, but what were you gonna say?
Okay, you know, go ahead because I was gonna go into the meaning of the A
Uh,
Raisin in the Sun.
okay, I have like a little funny section that I was dying when the sister just starts like singing like African tribe music, and she just like
Oh, I was actually laughing too because it was so clear that she's like doesn't know what she's doing, but
yeah.
she's like, yeah, I'm African now.
Like you're just going
Yeah,
crazy. I was like, that's so funny. Like it
yeah,
was also funny how kind like not racist, but like how like the American, I guess like African American people see like the
uh-huh.
African American people. They're like, we're not those guys. Like they live in huts and whatever. And it's just like they
Yeah,
see their own like they're like we're not that African American. And then his sister
yeah.
starts singing all these
There's like the
songs.
super educated African,
Yeah, the guy.
or like they think that they're like living in huts and
Yeah, yeah,
throwing spears at tigers and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
I actually saw
yeah.
like an actual African clip where this guy on Reddit or something was just saying like when I tell people I'm African, they're surprised to hear that I've never seen a lion
Oh my goodness.
like up close or like in person. They're shocked. I'm like that's so funny because there's such a stereotype
On
on Africans. They all think they're
in huts and
like
stuff.
starving and yeah, in
No,
huts.
yeah, I see those TikToks where it's like people living in Africa. They're like, "Oh, we have no water," and it's just like a guy. He walked into
Oh
his
yeah,
house.
yeah.
And like, he has like a gaming
Yeah, they're like
setup.
pour the water
Yeah,
on the ground. Like we got water.
yeah, yeah. Those are so funny.
Yeah. Again, that's also something that I'm like, dang. Even in the '60s, they had like a different
yeah,
view on Africa, and
yeah.
Africans are like, bro, not all of us are spear
Spirit,
throwing people. Like, what
yeah.
is wrong with you?
Um, but yeah, so little gripe session. I literally only had one gripe with, say, the plot, and it was at the end, right?
Okay.
Because they
Yeah.
buy a house, and I'm guessing this wasn't really made too clear, but there became a point where after Walter lost his money, that the grandma was like, "We don't have enough money to support ourselves to live in that house," and then she was like, "Cancel the movers, cancel everything. We're not moving into that house." And then Ruth, that's the wife's name, right? Ruth. Um,
Yeah.
she's like, "No, I'll work 100 hours. I'll strap this baby to my back just to make the payments, right?" And so that happened. So they were basically saying that they wouldn't have had enough money to pay the mortgage, right? Like, was I following that right? Do you remember?
Mm,
Okay, so
I'm not.
there's a scene that happens like that where the grandma's like, tell the movers like to cancel them because then we don't have to pay them for the day and all this stuff. It's towards the end, And then Ruth has that scene where she says like, "No, I'll work 100 hours. I'll strap this baby to my back." And I was wondering, I was like, well, how were you gonna make the payments? Like, you gave all your money away. Like, you gave the the 7 or 6 thousand away to Walter. Like, how were you gonna make these
Yeah,
payments?
the investment.
Um, and then out of nowhere, even after Walter lost the money, they're like, all right, whatever, we're gonna just move anyways, even though the scene before they said they wouldn't have had enough money to afford it. And that's where I was just like, what happened? I was like, that's not good continuity right there. Um, so I'm guessing, I don't know if you caught that because it sounds like you're like, that did not happen at all.
I'm actually not exactly sure. That's something
Okay.
I'd have to go back and listen to. I I don't have
Very, very, very tiny
the
gripe.
memory.
Very tiny gripe of.
Yeah.
I was like, they said they didn't have enough money, and they still said YOLO. We're gonna move, even though we're still broke, and Walter lost all our money. And I was like, nah, you set me up because the scene before you literally said you didn't have money. So, very tiny gripe, very small nitpick. Definitely didn't take away from overall, but just a little something.
Also, one thing we forgot to bring up, they even bring up abortion. They're like, we can't
Oh,
afford to have this kid, and some of them are like, you're gonna let her murder your child, and he's like,
yeah,
well, we can't. Like, they even bring up these. I'm like, dang, that's still a topic to this
that's
day.
true.
Like, people argue pro-life versus abortion, and it's been a topic since forever. And so, yeah, just such a timeless type of movie. Do you want to get into ratings and also the meaning of A Raisin in the Sun?
Yes, let's hear it. What are we gonna do? The rating first or the meaning first?
Let's do the
All
meaning.
right.
So I actually was like, I'm pretty sure it just means like you're already dried up and you're in the sun. So like
Okay.
someone who isn't who isn't doing good, and
Mm,
then you're
okay.
doing worse and worse. And when I looked it up, it says the title "Raising the Sun" references a line from Langston Hughes' poem Harlem, which asks, "What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun?" And so the play by Lorraine Hansberry uses this title to explore how deferred dreams, particularly the dreams of Black Americans, can be affected by societal pressures and hardships. It highlights the resilience of these dreams despite the challenges they face. And yeah, I think that's a very good title, and I think it encaptures
The
what
whole
this movie's
thing.
about.
Yeah, because I was also wondering what a raisin in the sun. They never said that at all during.
Yeah, we're like some kind of raisin in the sun.
I was like, say it, say the title, bro. I need to
Say it.
know.
Say it.
But that's literally what this whole movie is about. Just dreams, and either it gets pushed to the side or it gets, you know, they further try to get into their dream, which okay
Yeah,
fits.
yeah.
What
The challenges of
what
trying to do it while you're already in a struggling situation.
what was the poem again? Like, can you read it one more time?
Yeah, it says, "What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun?"
That's deep, bro. That's deep.
That is deep. That is deep. All
So,
right, let's get into ratings.
how many
How many
raisins?
raisins? We got it.
1 to 10 do we give this movie? Here, I'll go first. On a scale of 1 to 10, I think I would have to give this movie 6.4 raisins out of 10. And I think the message and the overall acting and theme of this movie are great. I think they're very relatable. Like, chasing your dreams,
Mhm.
obstacles you will face going towards your dreams, from family members telling you no to, sometimes you biting the dust and getting scammed. Like, there's so many things that come with chasing dreams where it's like, it's not an easy path as maybe Wall Street thinks of, hey, I give him this money, we'll be millionaires. Like, it's not a straightforward
Yeah.
path. And as someone who's like going on the same journey here with our podcast, like, we're trying something and we're learning along the ways, and maybe some people support. It's not like we have tens of thousands of haters that are saying no, but at the end of the day, it's like
Yeah.
a very like lucrative thing to do, and it's not so common, at least in the people that we're surrounded with, that
Mhm.
it might seem crazy, but The things that take points away for me are, again, I feel like for me to give movies higher ratings, I personally would tell someone, hey, you have to watch this movie. And even though it does have that message, maybe I think there might be another movie that resonates with somebody to get that message across better. And just because it is an older
Mm.
movie, like, I don't know if I would recommend it to nobody. Again, I don't think I would rewatch this movie also. If there was clips, on YouTube or TikTok, I'd probably, watch the clips, but I don't think I'd rewatch this movie. Um, but overall, I think the theme carries, the acting carries. I think the acting is really good, and like you feel these characters, like the grandma's character, like you feel them. So I think, yeah, I
Yeah.
think 6.8 is a pretty solid rating out of 10 for me personally. So
Respectable,
how
honest opinion.
how about you, bro? For a scale to 1 to 10, how many raisins are you rating a raisin in the sun?
I, I'm giving this movie probably 9 raisins out of 10. I really respect the overall theme and as well as the acting. In my opinion, I feel like the acting, being from the '60s and everything, I just felt it
Yeah.
was incredible. They all felt like completely believable characters to me, like they would actually exist, or that those people are those characters, And so, I just had a lot of respect for this movie. I remember after I finished it, I literally ordered the Criterion Blu-ray immediately. I'm like, "Yep, I'm adding this one to
Wow.
my collection. I got to."
That's
And so,
crazy.
yeah, 9 raisins out of 10 for this one.
Nice. Okay, cool. So,
After that,
what?
after that, do you have a movie for us to watch next?
Yes, I was gonna wait till next movie to give it to you actually, but I kind of just want to watch it already because it's it's something. So
Let
this
me
is a
hear it.
movie, bro, for me that's like it's like near and dear to my heart, but I haven't seen
Give
it.
me a hint.
Superhero, and
Okay, okay,
it's
okay. Give me an actor.
no, it's
Okay.
it's. I'm gonna give you some more hints. Maybe you'll get it. But the reason it's near and dear,
Green Hornet.
fuck you, bro. Let me get to my building up of my freaking drop. Yes, it is.
My bad.
It
Go,
is Green
go, go.
Hornet, but the reason it's near and dear to my heart is when I was younger, we would watch. They had these dollar movies in Austin, and we would always go just to watch random dollar movies. And Green Hornet was one of the movies that was on the dollar, and we randomly go. And I don't really remember the plot or anything of it. The only thing I remember from Green Hornet is they play the song Gangster's Paradise, and from that moment forward, every time I listen to Gangster Paradise, I think of Green Hornet. I've probably listened to Gangster's Paradise over 1,000 times. Like I know it word for word, and it came from this movie starring Seth Rogen as the Green Hornet, and I don't remember anything at all of it. Nothing, nothing. It has Seth Rogen, it has Cameron Diaz, and it has Jay Chu. It even has the guy from Stranger Things, David Harbour. So
Oh,
it
really?
has some stars you might know in it. Again, I remember nothing from it. I know you said you've seen like clips and little shorts of it, but you've never actually seen the full movie, right?
Yeah, I've seen clips, but I've never seen the full movie.
Yeah.
I remember when I was younger, there was all these like rated R films that I wanted to see so badly, but they were coming out when I was like 10 or 12, and my parents were never going to let me watch it. So it
Yeah.
was like Kick Ass. You remember Kick Ass?
Yeah.
That movie came out. It was obviously rated R. They're like, there's no way in hell you're watching it. Uh, Side note, I
No.
still watched it. But
No.
Kick Ass, The Green Hornet, a lot of the comedy movies I wanted to see very badly, but I wasn't allowed to. So this one was one that got away from me. Like I never got an opportunity to even sneakily watch it as a child. So I'm like, okay, I'm interested. Let me see
Eh,
why. Because the critics bombed on this one, bro.
really?
Yeah. So I'm like, I want to see what gripes these critics had about this movie.
Oh shit, voice crack. And something I was gonna talk to you about also is like, I actually really like Seth Rogen as an actor and like what he's done in like all
Uh,
his things, even to the point where, even though maybe his movies aren't the most critically acclaimed, like he still has some funny movies, and
Yeah, for
I
sure.
would throw him up there, bro, as one of the comedians that I
One
top
of the
three for
comedians
me.
of all time.
Like top three, I think he's definitely funnier than Jim Carrey, just because he tells jokes
Blasphemous. Jim
and
Carrey's career is
actually
still going.
and
Blasphemous.
actually acts versus just making stupid faces. So I really want to see Seth Rogen because this is kind of early in his career, 2011. I feel like maybe he already had Pineapple Express and some of the other ones, but
Yeah, Pineapple Express was 2008.
okay, so the Green Hornet came out 2011. So I know Seth Rogen's really known for his like raunchy, degenerate comedy, which to
Yeah.
me is some of the funniest comedy because they don't hold back. Like most movies want to hold back on their jokes, but Seth Rogen takes it far and crosses that line and crosses it 2 times. So I'm excited to watch a Seth Rogen movie, and we haven't really done too many comedies either, right? Like,
We haven't. I've actually been thinking about doing a couple like super classic comedies that I know you've never seen, like Monty Python,
yeah,
Airplane, any of Chevy Chase's old stuff. So those might be my next picks for after this one.
nice. Okay, so yeah, I'm glad we're gonna do a comedy. I've been just trying to throw in different types of movies that we haven't seen, and I was like, we have to do some comedy. And I was like, Seth Rogen's the raunchy comedy man, so I'm excited to watch this movie.
Me too. One I've never seen. So let's go.
All right, everyone. Shout out everyone who's made it this far. We'll catch you guys in next week's episode where we will be reviewing The Green Hornet starring
Green
Seth Rogen.
Hornet.
And yeah, until
Thank you
next time,
guys.
everyone. Peace.
Peace.